Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. It is an absolutely beautiful day to dive deep into the latest drama unfolding in Genoa City, and we have so much to unpack today. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get right into the madness we all love to watch and analyze together. I cannot believe they are doing this right now. I am sitting here staring at my screen, typing furiously in the middle of the night, absolutely losing my mind over what is coming up for the week of August 3 to August 7. Are you kidding me? Victor and Nikki Newman are reuniting. Again. And not just reuniting, but having a full-blown, incredibly emotional vow renewal at the ranch. I am honestly torn between throwing my remote at the wall and crying into a box of tissues because, let's be real, this is the most classic Victor and Nikki move in the history of this show. I love them. I hate them. I am so fiercely frustrated with them, but I also cannot look away for a single second. So, let me just break down exactly what is happening before my brain completely short-circuits. Victor and Nikki have decided to patch up their horribly broken marriage after months of absolute agony. Victor actually looks at her, turns on that low, gravelly voice, and admits that he wishes she would marry him all over again. And what does Nikki do? Does she bring up the fact that he literally funded Patty Williams to terrorize Jack Abbott? Does she bring up the fact that his controlling behavior pushed her to the brink of a total breakdown? Nope. She looks right back at the mustache and tells him she would marry him 1,000 times over. 1,000 times. Ladies and gentlemen, this is trauma bonding at its absolute finest, and I am screaming at my television. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just remember that they never actually got divorced during this latest separation. They were just living apart, tearing each other to shreds, and making everyone around them miserable. But now, they are having this small, intimate vow renewal ceremony right there in the living room of the Newman Ranch. They are putting their wedding rings back on. They are exchanging sweet promises for the next chapter of their lives. And I am just sitting here like, did we all collectively hallucinate the last 6 months of pure, unadulterated psychological warfare? Because, let's talk about the history here. I've been watching this show for years, and this is exactly what they do. Remember when they tried this after the whole Diane Jenkins fiasco years ago? Yeah, it didn't work then either. But Victor buys some expensive flowers, he makes a grand declaration about how she is his Nikki, and she just melts into a puddle. It is infuriating. But at the same time, it is so undeniably epic. You cannot have The Young and the Restless without Victor and Nikki declaring their undying, toxic, beautiful love for each other. It is the lifeblood of this soap opera. And can we please talk about the absolute elephant in the room? Nick Newman. Oh my god, Nick. Nick is literally taking a temporary leave of absence from an inpatient rehab facility to attend this vow renewal. I am sorry, but what? The man is suffering from a severe, life-threatening fentanyl addiction. He was tortured by Matt Clark, locked in a storage room in Las Vegas, forced to relapse, and almost died of an overdose. But sure, let's just pause his critical, life-saving medical treatment so he can put on a suit and watch his parents put their rings back on for the 50th time. Am I the only one who thinks this is completely insane? I know some people are loving this family unity moment, but personally, I am horrified and fascinated all at once. Nick actually looks at his mother and asks, "Mom, are you ready to be a bride again?" And it is supposed to be this incredibly sweet, tear-jerking moment between mother and son. But all I can think about is the fact that Nick is probably sweating through his suit, fighting off terrible withdrawal symptoms, just trying to hold it together for his family. It is so incredibly dark when you actually think about the context of what this man is going through right now. But that is the Newman family in a nutshell, isn't it? They will literally sweep drug addiction, kidnapping, extortion, and terminal illness under a very expensive Persian rug just to maintain the illusion of absolute perfection. Victor is standing there, looking like the proud, untouchable patriarch, completely ignoring the fact that his own son had to be dragged to rehab kicking and screaming just days ago. He is ignoring the fact that his wife was just dealing with a terrifying medical crisis and blindness. Everything is fine, folks. Just look at the shiny rings. Let's dive deeper into Nikki's mindset here, because I need to understand this. How does she just forgive Victor for the Patty Williams disaster? Victor literally brought a psychopath back to Genoa City to destroy Jack Abbott, which ended up getting Jack stabbed and Diane kidnapped. Nikki was furious. She was disgusted. She took off her rings and basically told Victor to rot in hell. And now, because he says a few sweet words, she is ready to be a bride again. I cannot comprehend the psychological gymnastics Nikki has to perform every single day to stay married to this man. It is exhausting just watching it. And yet, when she says she would marry him 1,000 times, you absolutely believe her. Melody Thomas Scott delivers those lines with such raw, visceral emotion that you completely forget how mad you are at the character. You feel the weight of decades of history. You feel the fact that Nikki literally cannot breathe without Victor Newman. They are two halves of a very broken, very dangerous whole. It is a masterclass in soap opera acting, even if the storyline makes me want to pull my hair out in clumps. Okay, back to the point. The ceremony itself is going to be small. No massive cathedral wedding, no hundreds of guests, no over-the-top media circus. Just the core family at the ranch. And honestly, I prefer it this way. It feels much more authentic to where they are right now in their lives. They are battered, they are bruised, they are exhausted from fighting the world and each other. A massive spectacle would feel entirely fake. This quiet moment in the ranch living room, putting the rings back on, feels like a desperate attempt to just find a safe harbor in the middle of a hurricane. But let's be real, how long is this peace actually going to last? We have Phyllis Summers out there plotting revenge. We have Matt Clark running around Genoa City, defying Victor, taking off his ankle monitor, and moving in with Phyllis just to cause absolute chaos. Victor is already furious about Matt's blatant disrespect. You just know Victor is going to launch some massive, illegal retaliation scheme within the next 2 weeks to crush Matt, and Nikki is going to be right back to clutching her pearls and yelling at him for being a ruthless dictator. And what about Nick? Once the vows are said and the champagne is toasted, Nick has to go back to rehab. The emotional whiplash for that character is completely insane. He gets to experience this beautiful family high, surrounded by love and support, and then he has to go back to a sterile facility to fight the demons that Matt Clark woke up inside him. I am so deeply worried that this brief taste of freedom and normalcy is going to trigger another relapse for Nick. If he sneaks out or finds a dealer on the way back to the clinic, I am going to lose my absolute mind. I know I am ranting, but this is why we watch, right? We invest years of our lives into these characters. I have been watching for years, and this is simultaneously the most frustrating and the most compelling thing they have done with Nictor in a long time. It forces us to ask hard questions about love, forgiveness, and enabling. Is Nikki enabling Victor's monstrous behavior by taking him back so easily? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. But is Victor the only person who truly understands the darkest parts of Nikki's soul? Also, yes. They are toxic soulmates. I am dreading the fallout, but I am absolutely here for the drama. I want to see Victoria's reaction to this vow renewal. I want to see Adam's reaction. You know Adam is going to have some snarky, cynical comment about their fake domestic bliss, especially while he is dealing with the mess in Vegas and Chelsea's endless paranoia. The ripple effects of Victor and Nikki solidifying their power base will be felt all over Genoa City, and the Abbotts are going to be sick to their stomachs when they hear the news. So, grab your popcorn, folks. The week of August 3 to August 7 is going to be a wild, emotional ride. We are going to get the romance, the tears, the classic Victor Newman declarations of love, and the underlying dread that it is all going to blow up in their faces by September. Am I the only one who feels this conflicted? Probably not. But I will be glued to my screen, live tweeting every single second of it, because nobody does toxic, epic romance quite like this show. Let them have their 1,000th wedding, and let the chaos resume tomorrow.